Welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. My name is Trisha Pena. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at Burn Bootcamp, and I'm joined by...
Hi guys, Matt Morris, VP of Fitness.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about something that I know I hear a lot about. I know there's a lot of kind of myths around it potentially. You might see some stuff in your scroll. But we're going to talk about your plateau and your fitness journey, how you kind of maybe think about a plateau, what you think a plateau means for you. I think for me, it means some things that are different to other people. So we just kind of want to hit on defining a fitness plateau. So from your perspective, what does that mean to you?
Well, I'm not going to bury the lead here. It's going to happen. So I don't care where you're at in your fitness journey. If you've just started, if you're a year in, 2 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in, I'm getting old, I'm 20 years in, it's going to happen. So it's just natural, right? Of hitting a plateau of either lifting weights either on leg day, upper body day, full body day, even conditioning plateaus. It's going to happen. So hopefully we're going to lay out some things in this podcast on what to do, what I've done personally to break through those plateaus. I know Trish wants to come at it from a mental perspective because a lot of this is mental for plateaus and what to do and to fight the natural tendency of giving up if you do hit that plateau. So for me personally, I'm going to talk to my younger self where I started lifting weights. We had a weight lifting class in high school. Mm-hmm. Did you have one of those?
I did. And I took the class. I was like one of two girls.
Oh, well, props to you.
Thank you.
We would try to get it. So we would try to get it every semester. We were like, our football coach was the teacher. And we're like, hey, can you get us in every semester of weightlifting class? So I started when I was 15. I really didn't know what I was doing when I first started. Mm-hmm. It took me about like 5-6 years, really when I got into college to figure out what I was doing. And when you're young like that, you're not going to see a lot of plateaus. Right? Because weightlifting is somewhat new, your conditioning is somewhat new. So you're like, oh my God, like I'm getting results literally day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then all of a sudden it was like hitting a hard wall. Mm-hmm. Like I think when I left college, when I was a senior, getting out into the real world and I was in a job I didn't like, which probably contributed to me hitting a plateau. I didn't eat a lot because I was always busy during work and my workouts weren't great. So I think for like a year straight, and this might not be typical for a plateau. You're like, oh my God, you hit a plateau for a year. Mm-hmm. How'd you get out of that? The biggest thing I did was honestly, I took a step back a little bit from working out. So I used to believe in the notion of never miss a workout. If you miss a workout, you're not getting those gains, right? So what I did is I just instituted at least 2 days during the week. I didn't work out, and those would be on the weekends. I would go Monday through Friday, and I'd said, Matt, you're taking Saturday and Sunday off. It wasn't, hey, you're not doing anything, right? I belonged to a yoga studio. I would do yoga, or I would just honestly just get steps in. And I would come back on that Monday, and I would feel stronger. And that helped me break through that long plateau of a year where I didn't see any change in my body. The weights I lifted didn't really change a lot. So instituting those recovery days was a huge benefit to me. And if you don't have recovery days in your Monday through Sunday routine now, I would urge you to at least put one in. Possibly 2. You could spread them out, or you could do them back to back like I did. But that's just going to give your body to recover from the work it's done, because it can only change it can only change if you match it with the recovery that you get from working out. So that's on me for a year.
Mine is a little different. I feel like mine has always been more mental. And I also have heard my friends talk about a weight loss plateau where they're like,
oh, that's a good,
I'm not losing weight ever. Like I just stopped losing weight. I got to try. A lot of the times I've heard they blame it on their whatever fitness they're doing at the time. So whatever type, wherever they're going, it's like, oh, that's not working for me anymore. I'm not losing any more weight. So I think I never really thought that way. I think for me, I'll talk about that personally, and then maybe we can dive into like the weight loss thing a little bit. But for me, it's always been a mental thing. I don't know if I've ever like approached things as like getting gains. I've more of just been, how can I push myself further? Like maybe I go in and I'm just not in the right headspace for a long time. I think I'd get down on myself a lot. And I think that maybe I'm like, dang, I'm losing steam. And maybe that's where my mental plateau comes in. But I don't know if I've ever experienced it from a weight like lifting perspective. I have definitely fallen into the weight loss plateau conversation.
And how'd you get out of that?
But I educated myself. So I think that's the biggest, I guess, tip I would give people is like, don't think that you just, your body's just going to stop responding to whatever workout you're doing. And like, that's just it for you. No, you have to think through, what are you putting in your body? How hard are you going at your workouts? I think that's, for me, when I got the Apple Watch, I would always track my heart rate more than anything else. I don't wear it anymore. And we talked about that on a different podcast. But that was helpful for me when I was in, I'm going to use air quotes, my weight loss journey. I don't have a weight loss journey anymore. That's not my path. I know that's for some people, but mentally I just can't do that to myself. But I think for a lot, and I still hear my friends talk about, I'm plateauing, I'm not losing any more weight. Do you want to come at that? How would you respond?
Yeah,
to
I want to come at it.
Okay, come at it.
So your body, this is a good conversation because obviously I've trained a lot of women over like the last 6 years, and I've heard that as a common theme. And the thing I would say is that your body's a system, and that system is very smart. So your body's been developed. The human being has been developed over a long time. And what Trisha's talking about is your body has a set point. It's just like a thermostat in your house. There's a certain set point where your body's not going to allow you to lose any more weight. Okay. And no matter now, I'm not saying if you drastically change the caloric intake. So like if you're eating less than 1,000 calories, right, you might lose a little bit of weight. But again, even if you're not going to go down to 0 calories in a day, that's just, you can't do that. So there's going to be a point where your body tells you like, hey, this is it, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to lose any more weight because it is not going to be a good thing if I do. What people don't want to hear, and it's a hard thing to hear, especially if you're a woman, is if you do get to the point where your body isn't changing over a long period of time, that means we have to change something in the input. And that input is usually more food. Mm-hmm. It's we might get into this in another podcast, but it might be time to reverse your diet. And what a reverse diet is, you don't lower the calories, you increase the calories, right? And a hard thing for a woman or even for a male sometimes to wrap your head around is like, hey, I need you to gain weight for a little bit to take the weight off later on, right? So you ramp up the calories, right? You're going to gain muscle as you do that and lift weights. You're not going to stop working out, right? You're going to continue to work out. You're going to feel a lot better eating more. And then if you want to lose weight, you're going to lose weight slowly, taper it off, right? That's the reverse. And then you're left with the muscle that you gained. Mm-hmm. But the rate, this race to zero of like losing weight, and I'm not losing weight, it's going to take a long time to get over the fact, but that's what I would say. The other thing I want to talk about is I just talked about a long-term plateau, but you might be asking, well, dude, what if I've had a short-term plateau? What if, I'm trying to make changes either monthly or every 6 weeks, and I've been working out for a long time? How do I do that? The one piece of advice I would give you, male or female, if you're trying to make short-term results happen and you've been working out for a long time, it's going to come down to one thing. It's going to come down to the number of hard sets you do when you work out. That's it. So, and how you measure that is how close you get to failure when you lift weights. That's it. Okay? Because if you've been working out for a long time, what's going to happen is these two things are going to cross on the graph, right? The intensity in which you work out has got to go up, okay? But the volume in what you do has to go down, okay? You think that, hey, I got to do more work to get more results if I've worked out for a long time. No, probably not. You got to ramp up your intensity, okay, to very, very high every set where you get close to failure. And probably you have to do a little less work because your body's going to have to recover properly from the intensity in which you ramp up to see results. So start thinking about that. If I've been working out for a long time and I want to see results every month or every 6 weeks, and those results are going to be like millimeter changes or 2.5 or 5 pound changes in the weight. It's just going to come with the territory the more you work out after year after year after year. So if you've been having both lines go up at the same time of you're going crazy intense and you're doing crazy amount of work and you haven't seen results, it's because you have to make the volume, the work go down a little bit, but keep the intensity high. And that space in the middle of those two lines is the recovery you take between workouts. And that's what I said in the beginning of having 2 recovery days. Okay. You start instituting that week after week after week after week. The weights will go up. They'll go up. The increments will be small, but the changes in your body will happen if you do that consistently.
Well, and I think this is a little bit of a plug for a focus meeting. If you are listening to this and you're a Burn Bootcamp member and you're like, wait, I want to learn more, schedule a focus meeting. That's what they're there for. It's to learn, our trainers to learn about your goals and how, I was a trainer, so I can say how we can help you get there. So I know Matt just kind of dropped a lot of, he likes to get nerdy on us a lot.
Should wear my glasses.
And so it might be a lot of knowledge, but if you need to follow up, well, you can drop in his DMs and maybe he'll respond to you and
Don't
give you some more information, or ask your trainer, schedule that focus meeting. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this?
I hope that helped. I hope you got some tidbit, guys. If you're either beginning to work out, right, you're going to see a lot of changes very, very quickly all the time. The more you do this, right, the changes will be less. The more work and recovery are going to have to do, and the more intensity you're going to have to do. And those changes are going to be spread out over a long period of time. But I hope you got something out of that to how to break through the plateau. What does it mean when I do plateau from a physical perspective, but also mentally? And if you have any more questions on plateaus, we can do another episode on this. If you have more questions, again, drop us those questions too. Yeah. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys for pressing play, as Matt likes to say on demand.
Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. Our email, podcast@burnbootcamp.com.
Leave us a review.
Please. Do all the things. Matt, you want to go ahead and take us out?
I'll take us out. Yeah. 2 claps on 2, 1, 2.
Bye.